Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. My dear students, I am Mohammad Abdullah Murad Chaudhary, Senior Lecturer, Department of Agriculture Studies, Milestone College, Uttara Dhaka. Let's go for today's online lecture.
Chapter 4, Section 1, Cultivation of Mustard and Black Gum. Today we will discuss about the steps of mustard and black gum cultivation, and at the end we will discuss about the MCQ and CQ board questions. Let's start first the cultivation method or techniques of mustard. And this is the mustard field. Here you see the picture of a mustard field. Basically in our country, that means in Bangladesh, while producing crops we know about the mustard, soybean, sesame, linseed, groundnut, sunflower. But in our country basically the farmer mainly cultivated mustard crop, which is the main edible wild seed crops in our country. In our country basically we use this mustard oil for different type of making pickle, use different type of edible purposes. Here you see the whole plant with inflorescence and flower of a mustard plant, and this is the inflorescence with the flower of a mustard plant. And if you see, this is the seed inside a cover, and this cover called pod, P-O-D, pod. And inside here you can find 4 or 5 seed in the plant, and after that this mustard extract and find the oil, and the rest of them used as a oil cake. Land selection, basically sandy loam or silt loam soils are suitable for mustard, and even well drained lands having sandy loam and silt loam soil should be selected for mustard cultivation. This point is very important for your MCQ, that means multiple choice questions. Questions like which soil is suitable for mustard cultivation, so you have to memorize this one properly. Varieties, there will be some varieties which you can see. First one is Tory 7, Kolani TS 72. This is the local name, and this is the named by the developer. Sonali Shorisha SS75, then Sampod M12, Rai Shorisha, Bari Shorisha 8, Bari Shorisha 14, Bari Shorisha 15, and Bari Shorisha 16. These all are important for your MCQ and CQ as well. Land preparation, 4 to 5 planks needed, and after that use the harrowing for laddering the land, and make sure all clods is friable because the seed is very small. And the method of fertilizer application, fertilizer used as a appropriate doses, like urea, compost, organic fertilizer like compost, and chemical fertilizer like urea, TSP, MP, gypsum, zinc, boric acid, etc. Make sure the urea should be splitted in different a couple of installment. Half amount of urea should be applied or mixed with the soil during land preparation, and rest half of amount applied top dressing when it is flowering stage. That means at flowering stage it is necessary to have appropriate moisture content in soil during fertilizer top dressing. Seed rate depends on the variety. You see Tory 7, Kolani, Sonali Shorisha, and Bari Shorisha required with 28 to 32 grams seeds per decimal. Method of seed sowing, we can use two type of method. One is broadcasting method, and the other one is line sowing method. That means if you use broadcasting method, that time needed more seeds, but if it is line sowing method, that time needed less seeds. Cultural operation, irrigation. The mustard crops does not require irrigation if moisture content is sufficient in soil. Based on the moisture content, very good yield can be achieved providing 2 to 3 irrigations. It is better to provide first irrigation at 20 to 25 days after sowing and second irrigation at fruit settings. Land should be prepared providing a light irrigation if the land is dry before sowing. Mustard cannot tolerate water stagnancy. That is why water stagnancy in the mustard field must be avoided. Thinning. Densely populated seedling should be thinned out. The seed should be resown where there is no germination of seeds at all. Thinning should be done 10 to 15 the days after of emergence seedling. Next point is weed control. No sooner the weeds are found in the mustard field then they should be uprooted. Weeds can be controlled during thinning. The land in which the infestation of Orobanchi is found, it is better not to cultivate mustard for two successive years in that field. You have to maintain weed control properly. Next one is insect control and then disease controls. We will discuss uh, later on after this slide. So insect and disease control, the causes of disease, symptoms and countermeasures. The most important disease of mustard is Alternaria blight of leaf or leaf spot. This point is very important for your MCQ. The questions like which disease is more harmful or most important for mustard crop. The answer will be Alternaria blight or leaf spot. And then brown and thereafter deep color round spots are found in leaves due to this disease. To protect the crop from the disease, the shoot should be shown following appropriate rows. That means when you observe, there will be found and brown and deep color round spots. That will be, you have to understand, that is leaf spot. And insects, the main insects of mustard is aphid. The young and adult aphid sucks juice from the stem, leaves and inflorescence, hence flowers and fruits, and thereby plants become weak. So flowering and fruit settings are hampered. Fruits become small and shrink, and it will be decreased 30 to 70% production. So underline this one and your textbook and memorize this one. This one is very important for your MCQ. To protect aphid, we can use malathion 57 EC per liter of water should be sprayed in the mustard field with help of sprayer. So we use malathion 57 EC with the water 2 ml with 1 liter water and spray in the field. That will be kill your aphid. Next point is harvesting of crop. Proper harvesting time of mustard is determined when 7 to 80% pods of the mustard plant assume straw color and leaves turn yellow. So you have to memorize this one. You can find this point on your textbook, page number 1 to 6. This is important for your MCQ. It is better to harvest mustard crop to at morning in presence of dew. The crop can be harvested by uprooting or by cutting with sickle. By uprooting is better. So because if you cut in the morning, that will be, it keep the moisture content, otherwise it will dry the seeds if it is too much sunny day. Next point is threshing of crop. After harvesting, threshing should be done by drying mustard plants in the sun for 3 to 4 days. There may be some unfilled seeds. These unfilled seeds should be separated properly. Next point is drying and preserving of seeds. After threshing, seeds are cleaned by winnowing. Thereafter, the seeds are dried well in the sun and then preserved in the dry pots. And remember that the moisture will be, that time will be in between 10 to 12%. The preserved seeds should be frequently be dried and preserved. The sun-dried seeds, if preserved at warm condition, deteriorated germination capacity. For this reason, the sun-dried seeds should be cooled and thereafter they be preserved in plastic pots, tins or drums so that the air cannot enter in the pots. But in our country, farmers sometimes use gunny bag as well. And the last point of technique, cultivation technique of mustard is production or yield. The average yield of mustards in Bangladesh is 3 to 3.5 kg per decimal, but it depends, again it depends according to the variety. Now I will discuss the importance of mustard crops. If you see here, I write it down. There are three types of mustard cultivation in Bangladesh, which is Tory, white and red. Depending on variety, mustard contains 40 to 44% oil. Underline this one. You can find this point in your textbook 1 to 7. So mustard contains about 40 to 44% oil. After extracting oil from the mustard seed, the remaining oil cake contains 40% protein. That means the oil cake we get from the mustard, which contain 40% protein and 64% nitrogen. Mustard oil cake is the nutritive food for cattle, buffalo and high quality manure. Besides, mustard oil is used for cooking. By rearing honeybee in mustard field artificially, sufficient amount of honey can be collected. For this reason, mustard also collect the honey plant. Therefore, mustard crop is very important in the field of economy, pharmaceutical industry and agriculture. So you can get lots of MCQ from this point, which is importance of mustard crop. Even you can get 2 marks question as well, like explain the importance of mustard crops, or 3 marks as well. So here you see 40 to 44% oil we can get from the mustard. Then we can get 40% protein and 64% nitrogen from mustard oil coke. And the another name of mustard crop is honey plant, because we get honey honeybee from honeybee, and even we can get wax as well from the mustard production. So this is the importance of mustard crop. So this is the end of the cultivation technique of mustard. Next, the cultivation technique of black gram. This is the field of a black gram, that means the plant which is look likes. Black gram ranks the 4th position among the pulse crops cultivated in country. That means in our country we cultivate lentil, mung bean, keshari, everything. But black gram is the 4th place, and 9 to 11% of the total pulse production comes from the black gram. And cultivation of black gram is higher in the north and northwestern region, especially in Chapai. This is important for MCQ as well. And is a hard and drought tolerant crop which can tolerate high temperature as well. And besides this, pulse it is widely used as feed and green manure in green condition. Therefore, as a pulse crop, black gram is as important one. So black gram we can use as a wild seed as well. This is a pulse crop as well. So this is very important pulse crops. Next, you see this is the plant, and this is the cover. You see inside there, this pulse you can, or black gram present, and this is called as well pod, P-O-D, pod. Again, loamy and loamy soil is very suitable for pulse cultivation, and this one as well do not like water stagnancy, and this one like warm and dry climate as well. Varieties. There is 2 type of varieties of pulse gram. First one is HYV, which is high yielding varieties, which is Bari 1 Pantho, then Bari 2 Sharod, Bari 3 Hemanto, and Bina Mash 1. And always when you remember this point, remember the local name as well. And local varieties is Rajshahi, Sadhuhati, etc. Black gram we can And sowing the seed last week of February to mid September. That means that is the end of the Rabi season. And seed race, if you broadcast, there will be two type of method we can use, which is broadcasting method, and the other one is line sowing method. I told you before as well, if we use broadcasting method, that time need more seed, but in line sowing method need less seed. And if we use as a feed or green manure crops, that time the seed will be 22 to 40 degree, and that time we are not using line sowing method, that time we are using broadcasting method. And even I told you as well the seed method as well, which is line sowing and broadcasting. Next one is seed treatment. There sometimes there will be some seed-borne disease, so if we got any seed-borne disease, we have to treat it with the medicine we can get from the market. And here is the fertilizer name, which is you can see urea, TSP, muriate of potash, biofertilizer. So biofertilizer organic fertilizer, and urea, TSP and MPS chemical fertilizer. So this is the doses you have to apply, like 160 to 180 grams per decimal, 340 to 380 TSP grams per decimal, then 120 to 160 MP grams per decimal, and biofertilizer 16 to 20 grams per decimal. There is a one important point which is called the principles of fertilizer application. So you can get 2 marks question like explain the principles of black gram fertilizer application. First one is all the fertilizer should be applied during final land preparation. Urea fertilizer is not necessary if biofertilizer is applied. So if we apply biofertilizer in the field, because we know in biofertilizer we can get nitrogen, and that is why we don't need urea, which we apply for nitrogen in the field. And then for per kg seed 80 gram biofertilizer should be applied. So this is the principles of black gram fertilizer application. Next important point is intercultural operation. So what is the intercultural operation? If I recite this, you can understand this. That is, the weeds found 15 to 20 days after seedling emergence should be removed by khurpi. So we have to remove the weed manually from the field after 15 to 20 days. Measures should be taken to drain out excess water if there is a possibility of water stagnancy. We know that black gram does not like water in the field. That is why if there is any possibility of water stagnancy, immediately we have to remove that one from the field. After sowing seeds, if there is lack of moisture in the land, light irrigation should be given. Again, if there is any no water present in the field, that time we have to apply irrigation. After irrigation, when dew or suitable condition prevails, surface hard layer should be broken. That means we need a normal plowing in the field if there is any dew condition. Measures should be taken to control insects and disease in the crop field if infestation are found. So if there is any insect or disease observed in the field, that time immediately will take the operation or management procedure of controlling insect and disease. This is the disease management, and I will explain now. First one is leaf spot of black gram. If you see the picture here, this is called the leaf spot, and this is the causes of this disease is fungus, which is called Sarcospora fungus, and this disease appear crop residues, air and water. And if you see the symptom, which is the round to oval small red spot are found on the infected leaf, you see here, here and here, and the cells of the infected leaf are become dry and the leaf becomes porous. The entire leaf is blighted if the infection is severe, and the control will be disease resistant variety like Potho, Shorot and Hemonto will be cultivated and should be cultivated, and use recommended fertilizer are for this disease. Next disease is yellow powdery mildew disease. You see on the top of the or dorsal part of the leaf, you see there looks like a powder present in the on the top of the uh, leaf. So this is called the powdery mildew disease, and this one as well causes by fungus, and the fungus name is odium. If you see this spelling OIDIUM, this is very very important for your creative and MCQ questions. And the controls, if you find this one, definitely we have to remove this one and apply tilt or thiovit fungicide for this disease. Next one is yellow mosaic virus. This is caused by mosaic virus, and you see the leaf becomes yellowish. At first, young leaves are infected, and yellow green spots are formed on the infected leaves. The infected fields looks yellow away from the field. So, use disease-free seed should be shown, and malathion should be applied to control white fly, because this is causes by the white fly acts as the vector of this disease. That means the white flies spread the virus to the field, and if we find the plant immediately uprooted and burned, and crop rotation should be adopted. That means every season on plant different crops, not the same crops, and the disease resistant black gram variety should be cultivated. Next one is insects management. There will be infested by different type of caterpillar, and this caterpillar eat the leaves and juice of immature fruits, even use and from the far it looks like a net. The leaf looks like a net. That is why use appropriate amount of cypermethrin per liter water should be sprayed, and the before storing the seeds should be cleaned properly and dry to bring the seed moisture content below 12%. For seed purpose, insects infestation can be controlled by mixing 300 gram malathion or savion on 10% per ton seeds as well. Harvesting, crop is harvested at the last of May in Kharif 1, and at the last of October in Kharif 2 as well. Variety 2 to 3 times black gram pot should be harvested. That means we cannot collect in the same time, and after that we can use threshing that one and drying plants in the sunlight as well. Dried well in the sunlight, and sun dried seeds should be cooled and thereafter stored in a plastic pots or tins or drums as well. In our country, sometimes farmer use gunny bags as well, and production it depends as well, variety to variety, but in general is 1.5 to 2 tons per hectare as well. So this is all about the cultivation method of black gram. Now I will discuss some important MCQ questions from different board and top 20 schools. First one is, you can get a question which is, which one is cultivated as the main edible oilseed crop in Bangladesh? Answer will be mustard. Then which one is the most important disease of mustard? That is Alternaria blight. The another name is leafy spot. Then what percentage of protein does the wild cake of mustard contain? Which is 40%. Next question is, which one is the HIV of black gram? That means high yielding variety of black gram. The answer is Hemanto. And which disease of black gram is caused by the fungus odium? I told you before as well, and the answer will be powdery mildew. So this is the example of a board and top rank schools questions. Next is the example of creative questions of different board and top rank schools. The question is, these students visited black gram field nearby their school. Then they submitted a group-wise report on the steps taken in black gram cultivation. The teacher noticed that many of them did not write about the intercultural operation turn of black gram plants. Later, he told them about the yellow mosaic virus. So, first question is for 1 mark. Which one is the vector of yellow mosaic virus of black gram plants? Second question is explain the principles of fertilizer application for black gram cultivation. Third question is for 3 marks is describe the symptoms and control of disease mentioned in the stem. And the last question is analyze steps which was omitted in the student's report. So for first questions, which is which one is the vector of yellow mosaic virus of black gram plants, you can get this answer page number 130, and the answer will be white fly, and the answer will be white fly. Second question is explain the principle of fertilizer application for black gram cultivation. I already explained this one. You can get this one answer page number 128, and there will be three principle, which is all the fertilizer should be applied during final land preparation. Urea fertilizer is not necessary if biofertilizer is applied. And the last one is for per kg seed 80 gram biofertilizer should be applied. Third question is for 3 marks describe the symptom and control of disease mentioned in the stem. So in the stem there is the disease mentioned is yellow mosaic virus, and again you can get this answer page number 130. So you have to write it down, the symptoms and the control measures of yellow mosaic virus. And the last question is analyze steps which was omitted in the student's report. So you can get this answer is page number 129, because the teacher told the report write down the report on the steps taken in black gram cultivation. The teacher noticed that many of them did not write about the intercultural operation. So omitted portion is intercultural operation. So you have to write it down, the intercultural operations is steps, which you can get page number 129. Here is 5 steps which is mentioned the intercultural operation. So this is the question and answer you can get, and you have to write it down, which one I already explained to you.
Thank you very much, my dear students, for watching today's online lecture. If you face any problem, contact your subject teacher. They must help you. Thank you very much.